Hey, so as you can tell by the title above or below, I guess, whatever, um, you know what the subject of this video is going to be. And if a lot of people see this video, I'll probably get some crap for it, but you know what? I don't care. So a few days ago, I made a video about Bobby Roode and Eric Young being done with TNA. And I'm pretty sure I said in that video that sooner or later there's going to be people that are going to be saying, oh, they should go to WWE, they should go to WWE. And sure enough, all over Facebook, I mean, several articles have been releasing, statements and everything, and the facts that Bobby Roode and Eric Young are done with TNA. And sure enough, you go to the comments, 15 comments, 20 comments, or 9 comments or something. Everyone's saying, oh, WWE should really pick them up, or they should really go to WWE. And, it's just really kind of gets on my nerves because, me being a TNA supporter, because I was actually one of the few over the last few years who hasn't been saying, oh, TNA is going to go out of business and everything. I feel like these are the same people that, bash TNA all the time, and if they were staying with TNA, both of them, those people would probably say, oh, they both suck anyways, or they're both stale. But then as soon as they leave TNA, it's like, oh, they should go to WWE. They're both great talents, even though like not too long ago they said that they were both washed up and stale or something. So that really pisses me off. Just the hypocrisy of fans on the internet. Just a ton of fans, ton of hypocritical fans on the internet, Facebook, YouTube, whatever. You know, Another thing, even though I said that if they go to WWE, if that's what they're happy with, if that's their decision, then I'm fine with that. I mean, who am I to tell them where to go? I mean, I'm no one, I mean, if they want to go to WWE, then if that makes them happy, then they should go to WWE. But I personally do not want to see them in WWE because, number one, I don't think their talents will be used correctly. Because like it or not, you know, to me and to all these fans out here who, if they went to WWE, they wouldn't even want to acknowledge their time in TNA. I know WWE wouldn't want to acknowledge their time in TNA. I mean, look at AJ Styles. They're calling him a freaking rookie, even though he's like, what, a 17-year veteran as a wrestler? He's a traveled athlete. He's been all over the world. I mean, I think I think one of the announcers might have mentioned that he had went to Japan or something, but you know, but I really don't think that if Bobby Roode and Eric Young went to WWE, their talents would be used correctly. You know, because they wouldn't want to. They wouldn't want to acknowledge all their 12 years in TNA. You know, Another reason is because I'm pretty sure maybe this wouldn't happen, but I'm pretty sure that one of them or both of them would just end up in NXT. I mean, look at James Storm. James Storm, when he went to WWE for the very short time that he went to WWE, they put him in NXT. You know, and then of course people were coming out of the woodwork and saying, "Oh, James Storm is going to be a great addition to WWE," even though they were probably the same fans that probably said crap about him when he was in TNA. But I feel like that it would be I'm pretty sure a very strong possibility that if they both went to WWE, they'd both be put in NXT. And to me, that is completely ludicrous. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, but Bobby Roode and Eric Young going to NXT, I call complete bullshit on that. I think that would be really stupid. And no, I'm not saying anything against NXT. NXT is pretty awesome, actually. I mean, they've been putting on probably the best wrestling. Even for me as a TNA supporter and someone who really likes TNA still, I would have to say NXT is probably better than TNA, honestly. Because I mean, even though it's a part of WWE, they've been making good storylines, really great wrestling, good booking. I mean, it's just good overall. Great wrestling overall, great storylines. The whole shebang. But for both guys who are veterans in the ring, both guys, I did my research, both guys are nearly 18-year veterans in the ring. They've been wrestling for 18 years, and they've already had a ton of TV time. wrestling in front of 60 people in TNA, whatever. But yeah, they've already been exposed to TV, to national TV. They've been wrestling for 18 years, 18-year veteran experience. I mean, I guess some people would make the argument that they would go to NXT for character development, but again, I call bullshit. I think it's bullshit that Samoa Joe is in NXT. I mean, he's got a lot of experience, and he like Bobby Roode and Eric Young. He was a team. I will always consider AJ Styles, Samoa Joe. I will always consider them TNA guys. Just like if Bobby Roode and Eric Young go to WWE, I will always consider them TNA guys. No matter how long, even if they stay in WWE for 10 years, I'll still consider them TNA guys. It's just like if Randy Orton all of a sudden left WWE and went to TNA, you wouldn't consider him a TNA guy. You'd still consider him a WWE guy because he was with TNA, or he was with WWE for 14 years. Longer than that, actually, because I think he debuted in OVW in 2000, so technically he's been, whatever. He debuted on the main roster in 2002, but anyways, kind of rambling here, but yeah, I feel like if they did go to WWE, they would end up in NXT, and the fact that Bobby Roode was one of TNA's top heels for a few years, I mean, I think we all know what he can do in the ring. He's a great wrestler, pretty good on the microphone. He was a face and a heel. I mean, he can do it. I mean, I think he's better as a heel, but he can do a face. But I feel like we know what he can do. Everyone really knows what he can do. I mean, I know WWE would probably want to pretend like he doesn't have any experience at all because he hasn't been to WWE, but, and they're fucked up logic. I mean, you all know about that. But, Eric Young, I mean, at least for Bobby Roode, you could maybe make a little bit of an argument with personality. But Eric Young, it's like, if you watched Eric Young in TNA for an extensive amount of time, you will know that Eric Young is pretty much, they gave him any character that Eric Young, TNA, pretty much, they gave him any character, when he was a comedy act, Eric Young ran with it, and he did a good job. He got over with it. When he was a heel, he ran with it. He was the world-class maniac, in his recent time with TNA until he left, he was, the world-class maniac. And he did a pretty good job. I mean, I thought he did a pretty good job playing that heel. He was a heel in, I think, the World Elite, was it? Like, he was one of the leaders in a heel in the World Elite. He was good then. Playing a babyface, he's good. He's good at anything. He can play a good face or a good heel. A great face or a great heel. He can be the comedy act. He's pretty much demonstrated that he can do it all, character-wise. So I think for him to have to go to NXT for character development, I think that would be completely stupid, honestly. I'm sorry, that is my honest opinion. But yeah, that's really why I don't want them to go, because I feel like they would end up in NXT, and I feel like that is completely stupid. Oh my god. Yeah, it really pisses me off, I mean, I know I already said this, but it's like people, as soon as someone leaves TNA, people will just come out of the woodwork and they will say, oh, they should go to WWE, they should go to WWE, and I don't know, it really, it just pisses me off. I don't know. It's really annoying, but, yeah, so that's pretty much why I don't want them to go to WWE, because I feel like they would end up in NXT. Even though they're 18-year veterans in the ring, and even though they, have been face and heel, and, especially with Eric Young, I feel like they've pretty much proven themselves, character-wise, and what would they be developing in NXT? Plus, Bobby Roode is 39 years old. He's pretty close to hitting that big 40. And Eric Young isn't far off either. He's like, I think Eric Young is 36 right now. He's going to be 37 this year. But yeah, he's in his mid-30s too. I mean, if they wanted to sign them, I think the best thing to do would be to bring them to the main roster. You know, especially right now with all the injuries that have been, you know, happening. You know, I don't know. Maybe you team them up with AJ, but then again, I don't know about making another faction. I mean, they could do it. I mean, they could team up Bobby Roode and Eric Young with AJ Styles, but I don't know. I feel like they'd be just grouping together all the former TNA guys, and that'd be weird. I don't know. That'd be a bit weird, but I don't know. It could be cool. But yeah, anyways, I feel like if they did go to WWE, then they should just go to the main roster because, like I said, they're 18-year veterans in the ring. They've got nothing to prove wrestling-wise. They've proven, in my opinion, they've proven that they can do all the character stuff. I mean, both are pretty good on the microphone. You know, Bobby Roode's pretty good. I think Eric Young is pretty good on the mic, too. I just think if they went to NXT, it'd be a big waste of fucking time, you know? They would have some great matches in NXT, I'm sure. Good feuds. But I don't understand. I don't know what would be the point of putting them in NXT. I don't know. But yeah, I'm kind of rambling at this point, but I don't know. That's just my opinions. Again, I'm not bashing NXT. I'm not trying to bash NXT here. I've got nothing against NXT. That's not what I'm trying to say in this video. I'm just saying that I think it would be completely ludicrous for them to just go to NXT, you know, given the amount of experience they have and everything. So yeah, that's all I'm trying to say. Plus, another thing I want to add, even though NXT, as awesome as NXT is, it really doesn't matter in the long run because when you get to the main roster, you're pretty much going to become an afterthought. I mean, look at everyone who was in NXT and went to the main roster. Look at Bo Dallas. He was killing it in NXT with that it was basically a parody of John Cena's character, but it worked, you know. And then he gets to the main roster. I mean, he had a good run for a few months, but then he pretty much became an afterthought. Same thing with Neville. He was the man on NXT. I mean, he was NXT champion for a while. Like, he was the man. And then he got to the main roster. You know, he was booked consistently for a few months, and then he pretty much became an afterthought, too. The guy's super talented, but I mean, the main roster doesn't give a shit. I mean, look at the female wrestlers, especially. Look at Paige. You know, everything that made her character awesome in NXT, everything that made her character different in NXT, when she got to the main roster, they completely ruined it. They completely ruined her character, completely butchered it. And it pisses me off. I'm sorry, that really pisses me off, but, you know, they took her character and they pretty much made her into the stereotypical diva on the main roster. The only difference is that she has darker ring gear and pale skin. And a British accent. Emma, you know, look at Emma. Another, you know, Paige and Emma were the big ones in NXT for a while. Like, they were the two main attractions, the female attractions in NXT. Emma gets to the main roster, they stick her with Santino Marella. I mean, yeah, she had sort of a, I guess, kind of a comedy character in NXT, but she was still taken seriously as a wrestler. But when she gets to the main roster, they pair her with Santino Marella. And then she's forgotten. Charlotte, Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, you know, completely ruins. They completely, well, I still like Charlotte, but I think they're starting to ruin her character. They haven't really ruined Sasha Banks' character yet, and even though she's been, like, one of the most over women they've had on the main roster, you know, I mean, it's been evident with the crowds, she did not get barely any screen time for the longest time, but now she's finally starting to get a bit more screen time. Same thing with Becky Lynch. They completely ruined her fucking character, too. I don't even know what she is now, but it's a damn shame, and that's also another reason why I don't think Eric Young and Bobby Roode should go to WWE, because I feel like they would go to NXT, have some great matches, have some great feuds, then they get to the main roster and they just become afterthoughts, and they're much more than that. So if anything, I think they should go to ROH or New Japan Pro Wrestling or wherever, you know. But that's just my opinion. If they go to WWE, if they make that decision and they're happy with it, then by all means they should go to WWE. But I don't feel like it would be good. But anyways, I need to end this video. But yeah, just my opinions, solely my opinions. But what do you think? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Are you in the middle? Comment down below, like, subscribe if you want to, and I will talk to you guys later. Peace, and have a good night or day or whatever time it is that you're watching this.